voice you just heard there is Dana Brown. He's checking his text.
He's a busy man.
Says, at Scott Boras, call me. No, don't call. Don't waste your time. We're done with that. Dana Brown, the Astros general manager, with us on the Matt Thomas Show with Ross. Dana, thanks first of all for joining us. Secondly, you've used this crutch phrase, we all have them, internal discussions. Please let us into one day of those. Because, I mean, you had so many internal discussions. Is that like a checklist? Like you walk in with, you got your lieutenants? Is that what that is? Of, hey, here's what y'all saw. Here's what's happening at camp. What's an internal discussion? I want to hear about this.
Yeah, internal discussions are basically, look, we show up here every day, and we're always thinking of ways to get the team better. And so we're still having conversations, about players and what we could do to make this club even better than it is right now. And we feel really good about the club. We feel like, we could win this division again and get deep into the postseason. We feel like we got a good group of position players, a good group of starters and relievers. And so, we have these discussions every day we talk. It's amazing that I walk in and first thing I'm saying, hey, what you guys got today? What's going on? Have you talked to any of the other clubs? What's going on? So that's part of what we do, internal discussions.
I don't remember a whole lot of maneuvering this time of year. Am I wrong about this? I mean, I know guys can sign some deals. I think Justin Turner just signed today. But in terms of just real hot action, is there a lot right now?
I think it is. I think what's going to happen is guys get into camp and you start seeing your players a little bit. Some of the guys have been here for a little bit longer. And you start to get that look at them and you say, oh, man, maybe we can upgrade here or, maybe we have enough in this area. And so, those are part of those discussions that you have. And, before you know it, you may make a move. So we're always trying to find some angle where we can improve this club. But I think you have to be relentless because if you're not, that's that day something will slip by you.
What do you think about, of course, Bregman signing and it going on for a long time and it happening the last couple of years of Jordan Montgomery, Blake Snell, and some guys getting signed early, some late. Is that can you tell me, is that something that's recent? Has it always been like that? But it feels like things have dragged on a little bit more. And it's just as a whole, in a picture at free agency, in your opinion, what do you think about the state of the way things go these days, especially with the way that Bregman dragging on the way that it did?
Yeah, I just think it's depends on the type of year. Like, how many big boys do you have on the market? I think it's one of those things where sometimes you have so many good players on the market and, guys are, waiting on deals and trying to do deals and trying to get creative. And, so a lot of things are happening all at one time. There's a lot of clubs that you have to have conversations with. And so it seems complicated sometimes. But, I think at the end of the day, guys, target who they want. They go after them hard. And if they don't get them, they go to the next guy.
But how in the world as a general manager, whether it's you or anybody else in the big leagues, you hold a spot out for a guy that may or may not come? Dana, let's be brutally honest here. We love Bregman very much, but your life had to move on. You had to go fix this infield right away here, whether he was coming back or not.
Yeah, the one thing I learned when I was in Atlanta working under Alex Anthopoulos, he used to move really quickly in the offseason. And he would, get his targets, line them up. And, once you, shoot at this one, if it didn't work, go to the next one. And so I think what I was trying to do is, hey, we want Bregman to come back. But, we have to think, what if we don't sign him if something goes wrong? And so we didn't wait around. We made the trade right away. We, wanted to put Paredes at third. Then, we got Walker for first base. And, because we were losing 2 bats that hit 1 through 5. So we wanted to add 2 bats back. And we wanted to remain competitive. And so you can't sit around and wait. You have to be active. And as, the owner, Jim Crane, says, look, our window's always open, so we're always looking to win, we're always looking to make deals, we're always looking to get better.
One of your early deals was the Kyle Tucker trade to Chicago, and look, Cam Smith apparently, everyone's like, this guy's built of granite, can't wait to see him, I want to see him in some spring training games. On the other side of it, what made them want to get this done? Because in a year from now, he's not committed to Chicago. Why you have to battle the I want him now as compared to I don't want to give a lot of prospects up so we can lose him in a year. What's it like on their end, and what was it like dealing with a squad that knew that you were sending him there knowing that he's going to be a free agent in one season?
Yeah, some teams, they get to the point where they're like really trying to get back to the postseason, and I think they were motivated by trying to get back to the postseason, and they knew that, Tucker was, really good player, and so that they would use a guy like that in the middle of their lineup. Good defender, he could steal bases, so he's one of the better position players in baseball, and so I think that was the appeal. You get one of the better positions one of the better position players in baseball, and you're trying to get back to the postseason, and that kind of motivated them to do what they did. And then we felt like, look, if we're going to trade Tucker, we got to get something really good back. And we felt like getting those three guys were like really big. You got two guys that you can put on your major league team right away. You got another guy that's not that far away, and so we feel like we got impact back.
Astros General Manager Dana Brown with us here on Sports Talk 790. And, well, Dana, the thing that we're all been talking about, everybody's talking about, of course, Jose Altuve and the left field discussion. How did this come about, and how does he fit as a piece of the puzzle? Because, of course, we know Chaz, Jake, maybe Dubon, some Zach DeZenzo, maybe Jacob Melton down the line as well. How does Altuve fit in this left field puzzle?
Yeah, so it seems to be picking up steam,
It's all Houston's talking about. I'm with all due respect. It's nobody. I mean, there's a lot of things funny about your squad.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking us to ask you about Jose Altuve.
Yeah, well, we'll give it to him. So, look, I think Altuve is having a ball out there in left field, first of all. He's excited about it. He's out there like a little kid. It's unbelievable. He's always smiling. And, we wanted to create some versatility. And if you could use him, in left field, that's going to create some versatility, and we think that could be big. And we needed a bat in our outfield, so that helps us with a bat in our outfield. But he's done a great job. He's really taken well to it, and as long as he's having fun, you know what? We don't have to commit to it today, but as long as he's having fun and getting better, and we feel like, look, he's got a chance to be a really good defender. Why not? He's doing a good job. I just went out earlier and watched him take some fly balls, and man, he was getting good jumps and getting balls in the gap and coming in.
So Gold Glove is what you're telling
hard.
us, then, right?
If he wins the Gold Glove, our staff, they're going to look like experts.
That's true.
I'll take a strong average defender at this point. If he becomes that's outstanding in our outfield. So he's for sure taken to it very well.
And what about Jordan? How does he fit in the left field picture?
Yeah, I think we'll give him some time, but ultimately he's our DH. We want him to worry about hitting and driving in runs, and so we will give him some run in the outfield. Joe's made that clear. It's all up to Joe and how many times he wants to put him out there, but he's really our DH, and so he will get some run. And I'm sure Joe has probably talked to him about it and said, look, we're going to try to protect you because we want you to play as many games as possible. And the way you could do that is you're just DHing. So
is there a metric for that? Because there are some guys, remember Michael Brantley, he despised being a DH. He wanted to be in the action. Other guys, I'll go back to David Ortiz. I mean, reinvented himself by getting off of first base. So do you guys look at numbers of how he batted, how he performed the day after, day before he played in left field?
No, I just think it's one of those things where, he's going to hit, whether he's a, left fielder or a DH, Alvarez will hit. So I don't think that really had much to do with it. I just think if he's in the dugout thinking about hitting all the time, he can really lock into what he wants to do, whether he wants to, figure out what the pitcher is throwing to him, study, what his patterns are, or whatever the case may be. Any time that he could spend on hitting is a good thing, and we want to see big results from him because when he goes, the team goes.
It feels like the 26-man roster is just about set, but if it isn't somewhere, where would that be? Would it be a decision on a utility infielder, an extra arm in the bullpen in terms of that? Where do you see as you look for the next month when you watch these games? Where is it? Well, I could go here in this particular position.
Yeah, I think, obviously the bullpen, with making a move for Presley, trading Presley opened up a spot there, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely have some room to talk about, what is our pen going to look like? And then, outfield-wise, how are we going to be platoon? Is McCormick, going to really get back to his 2023 year. So I think those two, spots, like, outfield and also relief pitching is where the room, we have to make our decisions.
Before I let you in, I'll get Ross get one more question. One from me. Our audience loves this team and is with every intricate move, and they'll always bring up the minor leaguers, Melton, Matthews, and then we'll get to Cam Smith. How much do you think that's going to be a conversation piece internally about when they're going to be ready? Look, nobody knows. You have to take it in, even if they're crushing it at AAA or AA, it's a guess. How much were you intently watching those three guys, especially in the first couple months of the year, if some of those major leaguers are not performing up to your expectations?
Yeah, I'm locked in on them, regardless if the major leaguers are doing well and if they're not doing well. I'm still locked in on those guys. Those guys have a chance to help us. I really feel confident that they could turn the corner pretty quickly. And so I'm used to, moving players fast. I told these guys when I got the job, I sat down and I talked to a lot of the minor league players. I think it's important that you always have good young players coming into major leagues. I think it reminds the older players that, hey, we got good young players in the minor leagues, and it reminds the younger players that if I do well, I'm going to get moved up. And I think you want that energy throughout your entire organization. And I'm a firm believer. So I think if these guys if they go down there and they're doing well, we will talk about moving them. I don't know how fast, or I can't put a timeline on it.
Sure.
But we're not afraid to move them to the big leagues if they're doing very well.
Starting pitching question real quick. What was it like seeing Hayden Wesneski from afar, now getting him in-house and working with him? And then as far as the depth, Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers.
Yeah, so Wesneski, he's fired up, of course, because he's back home in Houston, right? And so he's locked in. I've had multiple conversations with him, and I think his stuff is going to play very well. I think our pitching guys are really good, and so they're going to get him to his next step in life and in this game. And so I think they could, our guys have a way of finding out what you need to do to make you, better. And I think, he's been a sponge, and, hopefully we could help him to make those adjustments. Garcia, I think Garcia, we'll know more as he continues to throw here. But I anticipate him turning the corner, somewhere in the early part of this year. And so once he starts throwing here, we probably have more of a firm, deadline or target date or whatever you want to call it. And he's going to be some help that we're going to need in that rotation. So we really feel like we got 10 guys total in depth in rotation. And so we feel like we're in good shape. Last year we had that period where we lost like 5 starters at one point. They were all out. And so we feel really good about that. And the McCullers, he's been thrown off the mound, and he's been participating in, the PFP drills. And so, that's a good thing. And so once he starts to throw even harder, we'll get a pretty much target date or, a timeline on him as well. And so I feel like both guys should be pitching at some point in the season, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Dana, thank you very much for the time. We really appreciate it. And, again, we'll take sausage, peppers, bun, whatever.
That sounds good.
Yeah, any of that, whatever they're cooking, we'll
sneak us a plate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could actually smell that food. It really does smell
It smells good, right?
That's pretty cruel of us.
It's frankly better than the questions we've asked you.
We're dying out here, man.
Yeah, constantly smelling that.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. We really appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Dana Brown, Astros General Manager, with us on the Matt Thomas Show with Ross Moore here from West Palm Beach in a moment on Sports Talk 790.